My name is Kathleen and welcome to my YouTube channel. It's time for the Sex Talk. This is a YouTube channel that is dedicated to parents and helping parents get more comfortable in talking to their child about sex and sexuality. So I am currently a stay-at-home mom of two, and before I was a stay-at-home mom of two, I used to be a sex educator. So I used to go out into classrooms and talk to teens and young adults around topics ranging from puberty to reproductive health to reproductive anatomy to STD and STI prevention and birth control methods and those kinds of topics. I didn't really talk much to parents except for what we would consider what would be called a parent night. So if their child was going to be in my class, they would come for a one-off parent night where I would tell them, this is what your child is going to be learning in the program. So this is what I'm going to be teaching, and then this is how you can continue the conversation at home. Sometimes the parents would be really receptive, and they were like, I am so glad you were going to be teaching this stuff to my child because I don't want to teach it to my child. I feel really uncomfortable about it. But then there were other parents that were like, do you have children? Would you talk about this with your child? Do you say these terms? I don't think my child is old enough for this. I don't think this is age-appropriate information. I think they need to wait a little bit longer. And what was really interesting to me was, most of the time, these children were about 12, 13, 11, 12. Puberty was happening, changes were happening, and these parents were really adamant that their child was not ready to hear this information, when statistically speaking, that they are ready to hear this information. The changes are happening and they need some basis and some understanding of what is occurring to their bodies. I found that there was a huge portion of the population around parents who felt uncomfortable with this topic. Now fast forward to now where I have children of my own, and I have young children. I have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old. It comes kind of second nature to me to be talking about sex and sexuality with my children. One of the things, actually, let me give you an example. So I was at the playground, as most parents with young children are, and my 2-year-old I'm potty training. So she was on the playground, and all of a sudden I look over and she stopped. She stopped playing, and her hand is on her vagina or her vulva. And I look over to her and I go, "Love, do you have to go pee-pees? You're touching your vagina." And the mom that was standing next to me goes, "Do you say vagina with your children?" And I was surprised. First of all, yes, I say vagina with my children. Second, I should have said vulva, but still, I do say vagina, I do say vulva, I do say penis with my children. And I quickly just turned to her and I was like, yeah, I say the medically accurate terms. And it made me realize, well, first, I take my child, I run to the bathroom, and we avoid an accident, thank goodness, because anybody who's been potty training knows you have like a 10-second window to get them to a toilet when they're saying they have to go pee-pees. And by the time I get back to the park, the mom isn't there, and I just start to reflect on what had just happened. Me working in sexual health education in the sexual health field and teen pregnancy prevention for such a long time makes me feel really comfortable talking about sex and talking to my 4-year-old about where babies come from and talking and saying the word vagina with my 2-year-old and my 4-year-old. And so I realize that there's a lot of parents out there that are not comfortable with this, but they want to be. Many of them want to be able to establish a solid, healthy relationship and foundation about sex and sexuality so that their child will ask them questions and that they know how to answer these questions. So that's why I decided to start this channel. I kind of find talking to a 4-year-old and 2-year-old about sex very, very easy because it is just so medically accurate and just medical information. There's really no emotion to it. But if you are a new parent and you have a baby that isn't even talking back to you yet, I would recommend that you learn to say 2 words, penis and vagina. If you can start to say these 2 words, you will start to build your comfortability in being able to talk about sex with your child. So how do you do that? When you're changing your baby's diaper and you are taking that wipe and you are wiping their vulva, say, I am going to wipe your vulva now. I am going to get rid of any of the poop that is there because I don't want you to get an infection. I am going to wipe your penis right now, and then I'm going to wipe your testicles to make sure that you are nice and clean so that you don't get an infection. And you start to say penis and vagina and testicles and vulva, and you will start to build your own comfortability with those words and those terms. And that will translate into how you continue that conversation as your child starts to be able to say more and more words. So start to say 2 words, penis and vagina. Just start there. Start to say them over and over, and get comfortable saying it. That will start one of the basic foundations to being able to talk about sex with your child. So I hope you join me in this YouTube channel. It's time for the sex talk for parents, and I look forward to bringing you another video and giving you some tips on how to continue this conversation. Thanks for watching.